Hello, my name is Andrew Bernier, a postdoctoral research fellow in sustainability and education at Arizona State University. I'm here to pitch to you the systems curriculum, a new way to visualize and assess how we think, going beyond how we connect the dots. When you were a student, did you feel like what you were graded on captured and assessed your full range of talents and knowledge? Probably not. Now, think about how much those grades had an impact on your life trajectory. I taught every grade level from 7th to undergrad and was expected to teach like this: linear, regimented, and conformative, which is by design. It follows this concept where a teacher introduces a concept, some sort of teaching takes place, and then students complete the assignment, teacher gives feedback, and then regardless of how well or poorly the student does, we have to move on, kind of like a learning conveyor belt. This model was intentionally made to prepare people for the Industrial Revolution, and the holdover of this is the grade book. And while often digitalized now, the assumption was and still is that singular assignment grades supposedly represent skill sets and intellect of students. So linear constructs like this are rigid, and they're prone to disruption, where something can easily derail the learning process. They depend on top-down power where teachers always drive instruction. And since there is just one path at any point, if a concept is too rigorous for a student, they can shut down and fall behind, creating educational waste in the form of time, talent, and resources. So on the flip side of that is a systems-oriented education. Systems are flexible, playing off diverse capabilities, fostering adaptivity and resilience in learning. Systems have mutual input, giving greater power to both the student and the teachers, and offers multiple paths of learning, always giving students a path of least resistance to ensure they can always grow. This helps minimize educational waste. So how can we expect people to succeed in increasingly volatile economies when we still use rigid and outdated education models? Recently, President Crow and Governor Ducey spoke on the future of work and how it needs to be flexible. They said that changing technology has disrupted the labor market and that the nation's education system has to keep up and change. And since we don't know what the jobs are in the future, we've seen so much change in the economy. We need to prepare people to be adaptive rather than focus on any singular job or industry. So it is universities and really across the education spectrum that we need to ready people who can connect the dots and connect to each other, those skills which will not be automated. So to ready this people, it may be helpful to actually see how they connect the dots. And maps help with this sort of thing, making representations of sometimes hard to picture data. When mapping out how someone's systems think, there are basic manually designed online platforms called mind maps, and often these are used to break down concepts. However, we can push these to what I call cognitive cartography, where students and teachers can become map makers of what is learned. And so what if we had a tool that can not just visualize those gradebook scores, but also map how students weave them together? So I'm proposing an interactive web-based network mapping platform that captures, assesses, and shows a student's systems thinking of competencies of a discipline, where scores and mental connections changes and evolves over time as the student does. I'm calling this the systems curriculum, a curricular assessment tool that emerged from my research. It allows teachers, students, and families to see where students are and are not making connections between ideas. And while still using a gradebook for ease of teacher adjustment, grading shifts emphasis from scoring concepts in isolation to how well students connect ideas and objectives together. So as grades are entered, the contents of a spherical model forms, showing connections made and their strength between competencies, represented here by these coded circles. Over the course of a semester, year, or even a student's academic career, the sphere grows to show the entirety of a student's relationship-based understanding of various skills and knowledge of a given discipline. Scaled up, this can even be used for employee evaluations, displaying the clusters and gaps of requisite abilities an employee has and best fit them in increasingly fluid industries. The strategy to move the systems curriculum forward from its current conceptual state is to foster partnerships with digital labs on campus. Early conversations have indicated the need for supplemental funding to pursue something like this. With funding in place, program prototypes can be developed and then tested with students of various academic abilities and settings. With enough data and feedback, we would then produce initial packaging and organization for ease of instructor implementation. After enough digital models have been produced, the next goal would be make available physical kits allowing students and teachers to physically craft these models. How cool and helpful would it be if a student could hold in their hands a model of how these systems think? The business plan anticipates customers being universities, independent schools as early adopters, and then school districts later on. Marketing outreach would focus on faculty support like curriculum developers. Transactions are annual subscriptions where data and models would live even if the subscription lapses. Support services include how to use tutorials and walkthroughs. The software is updated continuously for free, and subscribers can either manually input competencies for a given discipline or purchase and download research-based ones from our listings. When physical models model kits will be made available. They'll be used as an optional purchase, which can then be shipped to schools. So, and from teaching in low-income communities, I'm driven to make this technology affordable and accessible. Colleges, universities, and private schools will be charged $10 a year per student. Public and charter schools will be charged $5 a year per student. And then public and charter schools who fall under Title I designation will be charged $3 a year per student. And that's the systems curriculum. For more information, please visit thesystemscurriculum.com. Thank you.